Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 6.3 Notes. This is video number 2. We've already kind of talked about the basics of linear versus exponential functions. And now, after we've already talked about all this stuff, we're going to go through an example. Okay? Now, graph the following exponential functions by using a table of values. All right, so we're going to always use the same x values each time. Okay, we're going to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now, first I'm going to show you how to do this by hand. Second, we're going to show you how to do it using the calculator. Now, so all we're going to be doing is plugging in the x. So y equals 3 to the -2. Well, remember, if your exponent's negative, drop it like it's hot. So then it goes to the bottom. And now 3 squared is 9. So y would be 1/9. Okay, and now we move on to the next one. Y equals 3 to the -1. Exponent's negative, drop it like it's hot. Hey, guess what? That's solved. See where all this stuff is coming into hand now? 3 and now x is 0. Well, if your exponent's 0, your base turns into 1. 3 to the first power is 3. And y equals, and then the last one is 3 squared, and 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. Whoa, Mr. Grice, that was fast. Yeah, it's not that difficult. That's why we've really focused on all those exponent rules. Okay? Now, 1/9, if you divide that in your calculator real quick, because graphing a fraction can be hard. 1/9 is 0.11111111. So I would just write 0.11 repeating. Oh, calculator, there we go. 1/3, some of you might know that, but it's 0.3333333333 repeating. Okay? Now, if you're typing this into your calculator, we would start with our base, which is 3. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me write down exactly what I'm typing into my calculator. I have the little caret button. So when I do this, I have to write 3, the caret, and then -2. And if I want to see the fraction, I'll change it to a fraction. If I don't want the fraction and I want the decimal, I can change it to a decimal, okay? But this would be another way to do this, 3 to the -1. It tells you your answer. 3 to 0, 3 to the first, 3 to the second, okay? There are other ways to do this, but for some of you who are going to be going into advanced algebra 2, you're going to have to do some of this by hand. So it's okay to start practicing now. All right, let's go ahead and graph this. Now, -2 and 1/9, that's kind of hard. -1 and 1/3, yeah, you can do that. You can kind of guesstimate where it goes. But then 0, 1, 1, 3, and then 2, let's see, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? And remember, when you draw your graph, okay, it's curved. It kind of looks like a J, and that looks kind of funny. You want it to be nice and smooth. It's kind of hard to do on my computer, okay? And remember, it does not touch the axis, okay? The asymptote, it doesn't touch it, all right? Let's go ahead and flip it over. Remember, we always use the same numbers, -2, 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So y equals 2 to the -2. Y equals 2 to the negative 1. Y equals 2 to the 0 power. Y equals 2 to the first power. Y equals 2 to the second power. And the reason why I'm getting those numbers, -2, 1. Okay? Those are the numbers that are changing. Okay? So, either in your calculator or by hand. I'm going to do these by hand. So my first one, my exponent's negative. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. And 2 times 2 is 4. And that is also 0.25. My exponent's negative. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. No, well, 1/2. Sweet, I don't have to do anything else. So I'm going to plug in 1/2, and that is also 0.5. Exponent 0, my base turns into 1. 2 to the first power is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. So let's go ahead and graph that. -2 to the 1/4, you can kind of do that. 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 4. All right, so as I'm graphing this, kind of want to make it nice and curved. This one came out better than my other one. And remember, I did not touch the x-axis. Okay? And then once you start graphing these, you can see how some of them shoot up faster, some of them are wider, some of them are skinnier, and then all determines on the numbers. Okay? So for number 2, if you'd be like, I want to put that in my calculator, that's okay. 2 to the -2, 2 to the -1, 2 to the 0, 2 to the first, 2 to the second. You can get all of that by plugging it into your calculator. Okay? All right, for number 3, once again, we always use the same numbers. -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay? I bet you guys can do this part right here. Copy, boom, paste. Edit, paste. Oh my gosh, Mr. Grice, how are you doing that so fast? You know, sometimes technology can be really nice. Okay, so we have -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so just remember, if your exponent is negative, that's what drops down. Okay, so I still have 2 over 2 squared, which is really 2 over 4, which is the same thing as 1/2. And 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. And I'd be like, oh, Mr. Grice, dude, that's really hard. Is it? Because if you type it in exactly as it seems into your calculator, you're going to get the right answer. Okay? All right, our next one. My exponent's negative, that's what I'm going to drop. 2 over 2, and 2 over 2 is 1. Just to prove it again, 2 times 2 to the -1, 1. Okay? Exponent 0, my base turns into 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. 2 to the first power is 2. So what's 2 times 2? 4. Sometimes I think doing these by hand is faster than doing it into your calculator. Okay? Once again, 2 squared is 4, and then 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? That wasn't too bad. Okay? And once again, you can do all of that using your calculator. 2 times 2 to the 0. 2 times, see, even if you put the times sign, you can get that right too. Just make sure you're typing in exactly right, okay? Now for this one, you can graph all of these ones, okay? I know sometimes when it gets really small fractions, it's hard, and that's okay. 0, 2, we got 1, there's 2, 3, there's 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there we go. There's our graph. And those are our points. And now let's draw the graph. Always add your arrows, okay? And there you go. Now, number 4, why don't you try this one on your own, okay? Let's see if you can get -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Why don't you pause the video, try this on your own, maybe just do the numbers yourself, and see what you get, okay? Good luck. Okay, there you go. Now, doing a couple of these together, if your exponent's negative, your base, or exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. Okay, so that turns into 2 over 3 squared. And 3 squared is 9, okay? And if you're like, well, what's that fraction? 2 over 9, 0.22. You can have either one of those numbers, it's okay. Okay, remember, exponent applies to the base. So 2 and 3 comes down, and there you go. That's where 2/3 comes from, and that's 0.66. And if you're having trouble with this, type it into your calculator, and it'll help you out. It'll get you the right answer, okay? So remember, when your exponent's 0, your base turns into 1, and then 2 times 1 is 2. 3 to the first power is just 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. And for the last one, 3 squared is 9, and 2 times 9 gives us 18. Now, there's only a couple points that we can graph on this one because of the numbers, okay? So, -1 and 2/3, I can get close to that. I can graph 0, 2, and I can graph 1, 6. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't try to draw a point at 218 because that's going to be like all the way up there, okay? Don't worry about it. Just know that you want to get that line as close to X as possible, and then shoot it up because it's going straight up really, really fast, and then draw your arrows, okay? How'd you guys do on it? Hopefully you did okay. All right, number 5. Once again, we're going to use the same numbers. And for this one, I want you guys to do everything yourself. I'm going to start setting these up, but you guys should do all of the calculations and draw the graph. Okay? So go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and there you go. Now for this one, you could have graphed all of them except for 2 and 12. Okay, remember to add your arrows. And then I know most of these were like, oh, Mr. Grice, they all look the same. Well, they're all close. Some are skinnier, some are wider. And that's what we're going to be looking at. We got to look to make sure you're putting the points where they belong. Okay? Now, that's going to be it for 6.3 notes, day 1, exponential growth. Your homework is 6.3 practice. Remember to show all your work, use your notes if you need help. It's not too difficult, okay? If you have any questions, come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.